deeper you're going to go redlining your nervous system.
All right, everybody. Welcome to... Sorry to cut you off there, Matt.
No worries.
I'd like to welcome everyone to part 2 of Gallery of Souls for KULT Divinity Lost, an actual play put on by the Illusion Horror and Con, which is me, 2 other people, and the whole community. I'd like to welcome you here tonight for this tale of 1950s noir, and my players joining me for this night's experience. Thank you as well for being here. Just a couple of quick announcements off the top before we'll just kind of just jump right in. The Illusion Horror Con itself is right around the corner. These days are just flying. The dates for this year's con are December 6th to 8th, 2024. We have guests starting to get lined up, and it's going to follow the usual format of panels on horror, gaming, maybe some special events. Working on that right now. And GM submissions will open very soon within the next few weeks. So, it'd be great to see you on that weekend and continually engage. Feel free to reach out to us on the Illusion Horror and Discord server. And if you're finding us from the website, you can, most of our interactiveness is on our Discord server, and there's a QR code just down here in the left-hand corner. You can scan that with your camera, and everything will be great. But we are all here for tonight's tale of horror, and we will start with some character descriptions, because I kind of jumped in fast last time, but I'd like to give the opportunity just go around and just tell us who you are playing, and just about your character in general. And then just if you want to tell us some highlights from last session that stuck to your mind, just go right ahead, and I'll pass it around, and I'll start in my upper right-hand corner. Chris, better known as Baziel on the Discord. Chris, welcome.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Hey, so my name is Baziel, or that's my Discord name, or Chris. My friends call me Chris. I am going to be playing for you tonight Elizabeth, or Liza Bennett, and she is basically a hostess for Mr. Emmanuel Pickett, the mob boss, and she is pretty much the femme fatale of this whole thing here, and she's very good at manipulating. So we're gonna see how things go.
Awesome, great to have you back. And below you would be Phzoul, and partly for people who have kind of joined us for the ride we've started with this streaming show. He's pretty much been on every single one. I'd like to welcome back Dave, or Phzoul.
Thanks, Ryan. So as Ryan mentioned, Phzoul. So I am playing Fred Hayden. Fred is the man. He's always got a plan. Fires from the hip. There's no situation that he can't get himself out of. I believe he started last session by punching George in the gut. So let's see if we can have a repeat of that tonight.
Yes, he did.
Violence right off the bat. Not a good session of KULT without it. All right, and with that, great segue to the violence. Hey, Jerry, better known as Armistice. I hope I'm saying that right.
Armistice.
Armistice.
Yeah.
Welcome back, and who are you?
Okay, so Ray is the muscle. He's the sort of Bruce Willis inspired character of the group. So he's a mob enforcer with a heart. I would not say heart of gold, but some sort of gold tin alloy, right? So he's
Nice.
But he's a complex guy, but he busts heads for the mob, and that's what he's doing here. And he is starting to cotton on to the fact that there's some nasty, hellish shenanigans happening, and things are not smelling too good. So he doesn't know what he's gotten himself into, but he's determined to get his mom out of trouble, and try and do right by the people he thinks aren't scum. But if anyone gets in his way, they're going down.
Nice that you're back. Nice to see Ray. And last but not least, Matt Doc Tracy, welcome back.
How's it going?
Not a stranger to streaming at all. And yeah, tell people about yourself and who George is.
I pop on a lot of streams on various places. So if you're watching a Twitch stream, there's I'd say about a 30% chance I'm either in the chat or streaming the game. I'm playing George Stevenson today. He is an English World War I veteran who came to the States working for Mr. Pickett as an accountant and sort of his bookkeeper. Very well dressed, always with his fedora and fine suit. And visually, since we have the Bruce Willis type, I would say this would be more like Christoph Waltz looking guy. Very well dressed, very impeccable. His face is very stern, and he really cares about his family. He's trying to get them out of Vegas so he can just get out of here because it just ain't right to keep working with the mob nonstop.
You just reminded me I did not give a physical description of Liza. She's brunette, stands about 5'7", 5'8", very slim hourglass figure, and wears lots of very nice tight clothing. Yes, that's it.
Beautiful. And and like I said, this welcome everyone. This is part 2. Part 1, just a kind of a quick kind of a recap to get everyone up to speed. Basically, these 4 worked for a casino mob boss, Emmanuel Pickett. They wanted to get out of his grasp, so they planned a casino heist. It didn't go too well. They were caught. They were tagged, put in the back of a car, brought to the middle of the desert to not see the next light of day. But Mr. Pickett had a job that needed to be done. He gave them an ultimatum. You can either take this bullet or you can go get this artist named by the name of Christian Stalker. And kind of a weird request, but the task was pretty much go get him, bring him back from LA to Vegas alive, and your family or whoever that Mr. Pickett has in safe air quotes, custody, will be all right, and you guys can go on your merry way, and you never have to look back at Vegas again. They made their way out of there in Ray's beautiful car and made the 5-hour trek on the interstate to just on the outskirts of the city of glamour of Hollywood. And that's kind of where we start. The kind of last part we were kind of in, George and Ray had a nice kind of nice moments shared in bathroom. Ray had a little bit of trouble with everything that's kind of going on. I found someone in an alleyway. George went and kind of brought him back and got cleaned up, talked about various, old things that happened in the past, not to dwell on it, brighter things in the future once we're, once you're past this shit. And it all ended as they were waiting for their food around the table in this nameless restaurant on the outskirts of LA when they joined Elizabeth and Fred, and they got a package. Just a quaint reminder that Mr. Pickett, he's there in the background, just making sure that, his money's going to good use, and that this, for people under his guise actually do stuff right. So they got a little box with a finger, not an adult finger, for Elizabeth and Fred. We had kind of ended when you folks recognized that little finger. And this is where we start tonight.
Fred, Pickett is dead! And I'll pull out the Colt right in the restaurant, the silver-plated Colt 45. That son of a bitch! I'm gonna kill him!
Calm the fuck down, Fred.
Okay, yeah. Ray's like, whoa. You get arrested now, they're dead for sure. We need to get this job done.
Let's just get this Starker fucker, and we'll get back. It's fine. Oh, just calm down, man.
Oh, geez. I think that's Fred will probably grab George by the collar.
Poor George. Guy can't
He
catch
goes,
a break.
Telling me to calm down. That's my
Okay.
little girl.
Ray's gonna get up and put himself between George and Fred.
Before,
if there's some
all right.
if there's some random like people eating at the table next, I'm like, what are you looking at? Huh?
I am going to return the favor to Fred from the last session,
Oh,
and I'm going to aim to punch him in the gut.
Ah.
But before I do that, Ryan, should I roll my disadvantage?
Yes, I think now is a good time to roll.
we're not going to get out of this restaurant. This is just all going to be.
This is where it ends tonight.
This is just going to be all us causing chaos in the restaurant.
So I was like, so the disadvantage may come in handy for how the scene plays out. I rolled a 12.
Okay. All right. 1 second.
So the option is yours. You
Yep.
have a few things to.
Yeah. No. You can kind of the same as in the kind of last session. You see it. Everyone's kind of getting worked up. You see Fred just kind of haul out his gun, and you're looking at it, and you just like, you start breathing heavily, kind of get up, and you can take one tick of time on that one. How does that visibly show to everyone here at the table and in the restaurant?
So as Fred has got George by his collar, George goes to wind up to hit him, and immediately has this just coughing fit.
Oh wow!
Like you've got like, and his other arm goes flying up, and he's trying to get himself stable. You're holding him by the collar, so he's kind of held by that.
I'll push George away.
Okay, can I make a move?
Yeah.
Okay,
Ooh.
I want to try and influence Frank or Fred. Sorry.
Sure. What do you?
I want to just talk to him, like just try and talk sense to him. Hang on here.
While this is all going on, Liza is just she's gonna basically stumble back, drop her cigarette, cover her mouth, and she basically is gonna lean up against the wall and just sort of crouch down and just sort of hyperventilating type thing, kind of rocking. She just So I haven't rolled for Keep It Together yet. I don't know if when you want to do that or
Yeah, we'll do that after Ray does his influence.
Sorry, Ray,
okay, so how explain to me how the mechanics work for influence other?
Yep. So you in KULT Divinity Lost, every dice roll is a 2d10, and they are narrative-based kind of player moves. If you're trying to influence Fred to do something, you take 2d10 and add your charisma stat.
Nice. Okay.
The dice not fare you well from my point of view.
Yes. Okay. 12. What is my charisma stat? Not good. Minus
good.
1. Haha. I got a. Oh, where is this? So I got a 13. So.
Okay. So based on that, you can kind of form how it kind of works out based on, so for people who, just a reminder for people who haven't played KULT before, it's based on a version of Powered by the Apocalypse. I don't think in that system they roll 2d10. I think it's 2d6 maybe, but doesn't matter. For this one, anything between a 10 and a 14 is a success, is a kind of success. There's always a complication in that middle ground. 1 to 9 is always a failure. That's my sweet spot. I always hope they roll that. And then 15 and above, it's a complete success on 2d10 plus kind of any modifiers. So in this way, Ray, Fred's reaction to this to kind of help you, Fred, kind of bring something in. It's up to you.
He's partially influenced me. Yeah,
partially
I respect I respect Ray.
I can
But,
RP that out too.
Yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna grab him, and I don't want to let George, who I've just bonded with, and he's helped me out and kind of talked me down. I'm kind of like feeling close to George right now, and I don't want to let Fred just keep sucker punching him and he's been beating up on him ever since this whole thing started, right? So, it sort of started out as, pick on someone your own size, you want to fight someone, fight me, you coward kind of thing. But now it's more like, look, I'm going to try and be the bigger guy here. I mean, I am the bigger guy, let's face it. So why don't you just sit down and we're going to try and get through this with your kid not losing any more digits, okay? This isn't going to help anybody or anything. And next time you feel like punching somebody, you know where to find me.
Don't push me, Ray. Don't push me at my little girl's finger. That's it. That son of a bitch.
I know.
And
Once we get through this, he's the next one on my
I'm gonna
list.
kill him. I'm gonna kill him.
And-
I'll be right there. I'll be right there with you
Promise.
when you do. I promise you.
and
You
as
hear that? You hear that, Liza? I'm gonna kill the son of a bitch.
We'll kill them together once we get. We got to get this Starker guy.
Yeah,
Let's
and-
just
right,
everybody
well,
calm
When
down.
when George says that, I'll actually turn and I'll say, "I'm sorry, George. I'm sorry. I appreciate you saying that."
It's it's okay. And George will kind of double over a bit in this coughing fit. Eventually, he'll get his composure back. It'll take a second.
I'll go over and put a hand on Liza. I mean, see, she's obviously,
She's
hyperventilating.
really,
so-
like freaking out right now.
Yeah,
She's
and-
basically
All right,
sobbing.
Just come back. Just come back to the table. What are you looking at? I'll go back to those guys at that table. Just yell them to make sure that they just don't look at us or look down at their meals.
yeah,
And
and
I'll help Liza back to the chair.
yeah, and when you come back, you help your, ex-wife back down to the chair, and you look down. Both of you kind of look back down at the box. You see it, and it's there, bloodied. Now is the perfect time to roll. Keep it together.
Take it away, Fred. Take it
All right.
away now.
I will
All of
I'll
us?
take it.
I'd say just a little Elizabeth and Fred for this one.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Okay,
All right.
so
Willpower. Okay.
so willpower. Okay.
Ray is going to motion for the waiter.
Ray,
And,
as those two are taking this moment, you look over to find a waiter,
Yeah.
and it's not a big restaurant. It's small. It has some nice tables, some nice tablecloths. There's some stains on them, but the waiter is just up against he's when all this kind of happened. His tray that he kind of had was bringing food out. That kind of fell to the ground, and there's this loud kind of clang food everywhere. He's just standing there, just looking toward the table, and his eyes are just fixed on this little bloody finger in a small box, and he's just. You're trying to get his attention, and he's just focused.
Yeah, and I lock eye contact with him if I can, and I say, "Yeah, you can cancel our order. We've all lost our appetites."
Yeah, we don't want any trouble, sir. Just take whatever that is, and
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Elizabeth and Fred, how did you do?
picked up. He picked. I got an 11.
12.
Okay, all right. So just based on like the adrenaline that's pumping through your veins right now, and how does this come out in Elizabeth? How does this come out in Fred? Always a player's choice on these reaction moves.
For Elizabeth, she's initially completely shocked. Got her hand over her mouth. She's just kind of hyperventilating for a moment, and you notice that after a moment, her hands are shaking, and she takes a deep breath and calms herself a little bit, and brings her eyes up as if she's taking the pain, but she's wiping it from her face, and she just gains her composure and gets up and sits at the table and lights up a cigarette and calls the waitress over. Gin and tonic, honey, please. Thank you. Her hand is still shaking, even though she's got it sort of together here.
Okay, that's all right. Take -1 stability, please.
I have something that prevents that.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. So, Fred, you know that your wife or previous wife is strong-willed, and she's okay. You look over, maybe she's been your rock at times, and she still is.
Her hands are still shaking a little bit, but otherwise she's literally pulled it and reined it all in. So
how's Fred doing?
Well, Fred will take the finger and put it in his pocket. He puts the gun away. He will put the gun away. He's actually, he picks the finger up just before he puts it in his pocket. So I'm going to pick the outcome of becoming obsessed. So he's
Sure.
actually, for a minute, he just kind of zones. Everybody else is gone. It's just him looking at the finger. It's almost like he's talking to his daughter, and his voice is really low, and he's just like, "I'm going to save you. I'm going to get you out of there. I'm going to get your pickets. I'm going to do it. Yeah, I swear to you. I swear to you, Daddy's coming. He's coming." And it's just kind of like more to him. Not, he doesn't really care who's around or who's listening. But then he'll slip the package into his pocket.
Okay.
But it was like his daughter was there.
Does this translate to feelings more toward Elizabeth that are being stirred? Is there a rekindling, maybe, or just a? Do you think?
I would say he's very he would be very much aware that I mean, obviously this has brought back a lot of the importance of family, the importance of things. So sure, yeah, he's very protective. So now he's even more so.
George, there was this older couple at the other end of the restaurant. The older man looks like he's in his late 60s. He gets up, kind of walks over. He sees you in the coughing fit you had. He shuffles over very slowly, but you see him haul out a pack of cigarettes, and he offers you one.
And I'll look at him and I'll say, no, those those things will kill you.
Looks like it's already doing the job. What's one to calm you down there, son? Looks like you've been through some shit.
Yeah, all
Besides
right,
tonight.
Right.
And he puts his hand on your shoulder.
Can't make anything worse. So I'll take the cigarette.
Okay. And he goes, "You guys get out of here. Don't. I can tell." He kind of looks all around at all four of you, and
not till I get my glass of gin, please. Thank you.
The waitress eventually kind of brings over a trembling hand glass of probably mostly gin, but
yeah, she just grabs it and literally downs it. He hammers it back, slams it down on the table.
Please just leave. We don't want any trouble.
Well, let's get out of here.
We pay our bills.
Fred. So sorry, honey. Oh, by the way, I love your rouge. It's very, 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 very nice in your cheeks. Looks good.
Feels her mouth. Okay. What do you folks want to do?
We'll help Liza up and escort her out of the restaurant.
Yeah. Ray will help George. Ray will help George.
How long is it before we're supposed to be at the park?
A few hours.
It's at 9, right? It's at a few hours. Okay.
Yeah.
We were talking about a plan before about one of us talks to this guy and the rest of us grab him when he's not looking. Maybe we should make sure we have a plan before we meet this guy.
I think Liza gave the suggestion that she would basically stand out there, be the first initial contact,
Yes.
and you guys could just sort of wait in the wings. And she seems to have calmed down. Ray, she asks basically for your flask again. Yeah, she knocks back a good couple shots out of the flask as well, and she seems to have pulled herself together now. She's, it's all right, gentlemen. I can handle this. It's no problem.
But
Sure, you got this.
Of course, I've dealt with worse.
Doesn't mean you
Trust
need
me.
to.
Oh, it's all right. If I don't have you, nice strong gentleman that come here to help me, I do have old Claire here. She pulls out her old pistol out of her garter, puts it back in. It's all right. I will take care of this just fine. No worries.
Just
Best we
remember,
do it quietly, right? You know,
he's
quiet.
supposed to want to come with us.
Well, of course she's going to want to come with me. Me, understand? You know, little shake here, you know, little eye wink there. They all want to come for that.
all right. So we grab Starker. Should we do a drive around the park, the perimeter, just to get a feel for the place?
Oh, that's a very good idea, Fred. Very, very, very good idea. She looks at your coat pocket and wondering. She's half tempted to look at the finger herself, and she shies away from it.
Just so everybody understands, we're not handing this guy over to Pickett. We're using him as bait.
I'm sorry, Fred. Can you run that whole plan by me one more time, using him as bait? For who? Manny?
Starker, with the artist, once we pick him up. Things have changed now, Liza. I mean, he can't expect us to just go along with it anymore, can he?
Well, I can tell you this much, dude. Manny's not one to cross, and I believe Doc, George. I believe George knows what I'm talking about. There's
something
wrong
off about
with
him.
Manny.
Like, I get what you're saying, Fred. You're not wrong. We could use him as a bargaining chip, but we
He
got to
doesn't
assume
get-
he's got the upper hand.
He doesn't get Starker until we get Joan. That's the deal.
Yeah, but how many more fingers do you want to get, Fred? How many more fingers? I can't deal with that, Fred. No. We give him this Starker dude. This man. No more fingers, Fred.
Then what, Liza? We give it to him? What, you think Pickett's going to just let us go? What
No,
do we got? If we give up Starker, what do we got left? We have to get on our knees and beg. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, you'll beg until he puts a bullet in your head if you piss him off.
Or worse yet, Jones' head. Please, Fred, no.
All right.
Ray's gonna squeal, like pull the wheel over and just squeal to the edge of the road, and just like drive through some bushes and stuff and come to a screeching halt. And he just says, "I'm getting really sick and tired of hearing you flap your lips as if your kid is the only one in danger. Okay? Now shut it.
All right.
And you're not in charge. All right?"
It's I understand, Ray. I'm sorry. I'm just a little, well, not just a little. I'm fucking overwhelmed with this. All right. I think you can understand why. So apologies. Let's focus on the job at hand, and then just get me where I need to be. And she kind of adjusts her dress a little bit and checks her lipstick in her pocket mirror and kind of gets things together. Does her hair a little bit. Okay, I'm ready.
Ray's just gonna loosen his collar and like kind of stick his neck out and fix his tie and just go, "All right, I'm glad we got that straight." And he just like turns on his blinker and just like easy as pie, just eases it back out into traffic like nothing happened.
Oh, Fred, if we ever get out of this, you're taking me to a trip to Cozumel or something. I don't care.
I'll take you to Tahiti, Liza. Fuck Fred.
Tahiti.
We'll go to Tahiti.
I'm definitely getting out of the country. No place for us here anymore.
Let's just get this job done first.
I can't believe you're talking about getting back together with this bozo.
What's
Ray,
the problem, Ray?
Ray, this is
I
not
just
the
have my
time.
little.
This
All
is not
right,
the
all
time.
right, all right,
Fred, don't follow that bait.
all
Ray,
right, all right.
please.
Just tell me what to do. Tell me what you need me to do.
I just want you to keep an eye on me. Don't let anybody kill me. Okay?
All right,
Watch out
all
for
right.
anything bad. All right?
Got it.
I'll get them in the pocket. Don't worry. That's very easy. Palm of my hand. It's just.
All
I've
right.
done it thousands of times, but
Oh.
just make
He-
sure.
If he steps out of line, and I'll kind of pat my sidearm. If he steps out of line, we take the shot. We're not going to kill him because God knows if we take him back to Picket dead, we're fucked. We'll wing him, we'll grab
George,
him, and we'll
George,
go.
I
Listen,
appreciate it, George, but
supposedly
make sure that
he
that's
wants
the
to come
last
with us,
resort.
right? Isn't that what
Yes,
they
he
say?
has to come with
He
us.
wants to come. He wants to come with us.
Yes. Okay. What's our cover story for this? What should I bring him? Mr. Pickett wants to see him for Should we?
Don't
should
we have
say
a letter or something? Do you want to? If Ray's gonna fumble around in the glove box for the letter that Pickett gave us and hand it back to Liza to just refresh her memory.
You know, something I really think you ought to do. I just what you should do is just let me get him distracted, fully distracted, and then just club him over the head, tie him up, and put him in the back of the car, and we'll go. We'll take him back to Manny in
He
that
wants to
state
come
as long as we
with
get him there.
us. We don't need to club him. We'll just remember clubbing him, hurting him is the last option, Liza. I know. I trust your skills. I'll give her a little wink. I trust your skills. You can get him in the car. We'll make sure he doesn't get out.
Fine. That's fine. Let's get this done. All right. We can't. Come on now. Let's go.
I thought I was the knuckle dragger in this car.
Okay.
By the numbers, this all makes sense. We'll be fine.
Okay. Well, you guys had mentioned that you pulled the letter back out, and
Yes.
do you reread it?
Well, I think it's
Liza
worthwhile.
or who? Sorry, who?
I would say read. Yeah, you should read it. I think we should. Yeah, let's hear what it had to say again.
Okay. If you would like to reread it, Elizabeth, I don't mind reading it for their viewers out there.
No, that's fine. Go ahead. Sure.
Okay. The letter you see here is from. This was mailed from Christian Stalker. Stalker. I can never say it right. To Emmanuel Pickett. Emmanuel Pickett had received it, but it was kind of too late. It goes, Mr. Stone. I know you see the same things that I do. I will leave Los Angeles as soon as I've sold off some of my paintings. We can meet, but we need to be careful. I am certain that I am being watched. Meet me at the boathouse in Somerset Park at 9 p.m. Thursday, January 18th. There we can talk undisturbed. You can also contact me at the telephone number below, but I advise you to use it only in extreme emergencies. Signed, Christian Stalker, ST78-8738. And on that letter, just a reminder, there was 2 drops of
Blood or
red.
something.
It was
Red.
some kind of red. It was red paint or red blood. It was just
Something.
it was kind of hard to see, but yeah.
Well, there you have it. Is that enough of a reminder?
Yeah, that was good. Got my head straight a little bit, but he said he thinks he's being watched. The question is, who's going to watch it? Who's watching him? The cops?
Them. That's the only word I can use for Fred.
I'll turn to probably Ray. I'll say, listen, who knows? Maybe Pickett's not the only one trying to get this guy. I guess we better be ready for anything.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe this guy, if the heat's on him, he's going to want to come with us if we can prove that we can keep him safe. I think if he
Yeah.
gets vibes that we're going to jump him, that's going to make this way harder. And then that puts
Yeah.
all of the people we care about in danger. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
That's why we send in Liza. She can turn on the charm, get him to the car, and we go.
And George and Elizabeth, all the talk of we've taken this letter back out, seeing the signature at the top, Mr. Stone. You remember, you don't know why this memory just comes back to both of you. Mr. Stone, you know it's an alias that one of the many that Mr. Pickett uses. But there's this memory comes back. It was a meeting, one of those administrative meetings that happened months ago. You two know that there's always been something off about this man. Something. It wasn't that he was part of the mob. Wasn't due to the fact that he was just a sleaze, a scumbag. But there was just something you could never quite work out. It was always, anytime you remember you did see something or you heard something, it was almost like when you wake up from a dream when you've been sleeping, at the tip of your tongue, or you just remember it, or you just can't. And but this letter, and maybe it's just kind of all the stress. You two left that particular meeting one day, and you just remember there was a bunch of different men in suits that walked in for the next one, and both of you, there was something that hadn't been said, some mistreatment of a employee or some bonus that wasn't given. The excuse, whatever. But when you both look back through, you go, the door was shut, but you go, one of you reached out to kind of open it back up, and it was strange. It was his office, but wasn't. It was gotten really cold, darker, and it was almost like a flash. It's like something there was being revealed, but you had pierced something. But what the fuck was it? Both of you, please, George and Elizabeth. You don't know where this memory came from. Roll a see through the illusion, please.
Oh my.
That
That is your 2d10 plus your soul stat.
6. Oh, that's not going to be good. Let's see. I got an 8.
Let's see. What, plus soul, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 18.
Oh,
Okay.
18. Yeah.
Two very different ends of the spectrum there.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no.
Oh,
Yeah, no, we'll see. George.
roll.
Yeah, no, George. It was simple for you. Thought you had seen something, but like I said, just a dream. You see Mr. Pickett. He's shaking hands with all the bureaucratic folks, business people that he's just shaking hands with, and everything's fine. The office is nice and bright. Everything's fine. It was just that split moment. Yes, Elizabeth. Yes. You on the other hand, everything stays dark, and these men in suits aren't men at all. They are, you don't know what to call them. There's no verbal description for the grossness that these things are. Bones protruding from underneath skin, jagged teeth, and wasn't even English. It was like some kind of guttural kind of speech. But it was Mr. Pickett. Your gaze was drawn toward him more. You just remember him being this tall, like 6.5 foot tall, bloated, disgusting, fat thing. And you just remember this tongue. This tongue was just long, and it was coming out of his mouth, and it was just licking down by his stomach and all around. And it was the same guttural speech. And you tried to scream, but you just couldn't because it was cold. And you see him look at you, and you just land on. You just remember it. Everything going away. You're blasted. You're just knocked on your ass. Just in cold sweats, and you remember everything. Roll a keep it together, please, because that is out of the memory box.
The one time that I wish she would have actually rolled badly. That would have been all right.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yes, no doubt.
Right.
Bliss.
Oh crap! I just rolled 18.
Nice.
Jeez.
Ooh, I want your dice.
Elizabeth,
That one,
how did you come back from seeing that? Like you know Mr. Pickett is not Mr. Pickett, but you can't explain it, and you've seen
she
his
has-
true form. How
yeah,
does-
she has seen him before where we'd be in meetings or meeting with some of these other people, and his shadow would be strange on the floor. It would look abnormal, and she has seen him with this distorted look with his face and bulbous type disgusting look, but she's always taken it to be having something to do with the drink, maybe a little bumper cocaine here and there, so she always thinks it's something to do with that. She's just having these visions because she absolutely hates the man for what he's done to her and her child and etc. So she never really took that seriously, and that maybe together. Now I just rolled 18 on the keep it together, so maybe that's exactly what she's thinking with all this, is that was all just some sort of drug induced or alcohol induced thing. It didn't really happen. It's just, she just has these nightmares and would love to murder him if she could.
Cool.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Kind of forget where we were.
We were
Sorry.
driving around.
Yeah,
I think we're
circling
going
the
to
park.
scope. We're going to scope out the park a little bit.
Yes.
Casing out the boathouse.
All right, cool. So yeah, this is in one of the many kind of suburbs of LA. It is Somerset Park. And just due to the time of year it gets dark a little bit early. You drive by. It looks like see a sign as you kind of drive by slowly out in the front. It says park open daily, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., closed after. And the park itself, it's surrounded by it is one of these kind of special neighborhoods where it's, it's not more a little bit high class. So there is a 2-meter high fence around this one it has those those kind of like brass wrought iron arrowhead thing top of the gate, very decorative, and it surrounds the entire park. But
So the gates close at 8, and are they gates that like 2 meters high? That's with the spike. So basically, it's pretty secure, the perimeter.
yeah, and you drive by the front gate and you do look in. There's a it's a nice park. You see that there's a playground, a garden. Looks to be a lake in the back, maybe a boathouse as you kind of do the slow kind of drive by.
Damn, it closes. So should we get in before they shut it down?
Definitely.
We could steal a boat.
Where are we gonna go?
No, I think we should just go ahead and drive on in and just find a good spot, and I will just sort of mosey out in plain view for this Mr. Stalker to see me, and I will approach him and say I'm a personal attaché for Mr. Pickett or Mr. Stone. Is it? Yes, Mr. Stone, and that he asked me to come meet with him and escort him to the meeting with Mr. Stone. How does that sound? And I'll, of course, put on the charm.
Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good. We'll be
So-
nearby though.
Yeah, we'll park. So let's park out here, find a good spot, and then let's get inside. Let's get into the park. Maybe do a walk around, and then find a place to lay low till it closes.
Sounds good.
Yeah,
does-
I like that idea.
Does it look like are there active security guards or?
Give me actually this would be I think it's the
Observe the
first-
situation.
Yeah, thank you. Roll an observe a situation. as you're kind of
Okay, perception.
yeah,
Can we all do this, or just
yeah,
one
yeah.
person?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's
That's-
go.
Observe a situation.
There's 2d10 plus your perception
17.
stat.
This was not so good a roll.
Plus 1, 18. Nice.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. I had a 6 on that one. So that was bad.
Yeah, you might be parked on the you're in the seat on the other
Yeah,
side where you can't kind of
something.
see past as Fred's hogging the window. How did everybody else do?
Got an 18.
Okay.
Nice. Wow.
What about Ray and
I got 17. Ray got 17.
Right. Fred got a 7.
all right? So yeah, no, Fred and Liz, your tension's kind of wavering, which makes sense. Like it's a park, it has gates, whatever, but
Yeah.
you feel back in your pocket there, Fred, and you may be distracted there a little bit. And,
Well, when I see the playground, Fred will actually, he gets kind of fixated on the playground, and with Liz, he'll be like, "Remember that first time we took her to the park, Liza?" God.
Fred, this is not the time. Ryan, it says I can ask one question, but I don't get anything, no bonus for it, and I miss something, and then I may have attracted unwanted attention.
yeah, or some shaded truth that might not be.
Yeah. So, okay, I was going to say then, the one question I would have looked at would have been, what is being hidden from me, but I'll let you take it from there. So, yeah.
Okay, we'll save that for a sec. George,
Yes.
what are you wondering about this spot?
I am wondering what is being hidden from me. So we're looking around, we're looking for security. Is there anything that looks like it's maybe we'd miss it on the first pass?
Like I said, it's a pretty normal park, but you have a little bit of experience, and you kind of know when something's off. So when George looks at this, definitely something is a little off, and the garden's nice. Yeah, it's a little janitorial shed. You see that there's a groundskeeper that brings back some shears after they were kind of tending to the garden. But it's when you look out toward the lake, the shiver kind of goes down your spine. And when you look out, there's this fog that kind of hangs over the entirety of the lake. Shouldn't be foggy. It's not such a temperature drop or anything like that where it would produce this condensation kind of thing. But yeah, it's when you look out there, you just get this just tingly feeling that something's just wrong. And you don't want to go there.
I'll convey this to Liza, saying, hey, I don't know if you're keeping an eye out, but something doesn't seem right about the lake there. It's a weird fog. There shouldn't be. I don't know if you're going there solo. I know we said last resort, but I'd feel really good if one of us just had a gun on it just to make sure. I'm getting a bad feeling, what I'm saying, Liza. And you know me when I get a bad feeling. I mean, I will lock eyes with her for a moment and just say, you and I both know something about Mr. Pickett, and I'm getting that same kind of something ain't right vibe here. Be safe out there, okay?
Of course. Thank you, George. I'm sure all will be well. And she looks over to you, Fred, for a moment and says, I do remember what you were talking about. We can talk later. And she gets out of the car.
Okay. And George, you do have one last question, but you rolled so well that if you want to replace that last question with your occult studies roll, you can.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Let's see, where's my occult studies on my sheet here?
Your advantage.
Yeah, I will. I will definitely do that because that could be fun. That is a 10 plus my reason. Reason is 3. So that's a 13.
Awesome. So, they list a few options there, but I like usually running this. If you have a common sense that kind of fits in this particular, like, you can tell me or ask me something else. And if you need a few moments, I can go to
give me a
Ray.
few moments to ponder that for a second.
Sure.
Cool.
Ray, you're kind of just taking in the air, like, you've been in these situations before, scouting everything, making sure everything's okay. Henchmen are around, just making sure that the place is safe, especially when Elizabeth is here and fuck Fred and George. George, respect.
Yeah.
What do you want to ask?
Well, I mostly, so I can do 2. I got a 17. So
Yep.
I want to know, in terms of the main thing you'd be focused on is eyes and concealing from eyes, because the creepy feeling everyone has about the situation, I want to sneak in my combat shotgun. It's cold, get his coat, drape his coat over his arm, shotgun underneath, but that's his idea. But the question is that like, what's the way I can do that? He's looking for a way he can do that safely without calling attention to himself.
Okay.
That's,
You can definitely, let's say, like, I like using these player moves because to help the narrative out, because that's what they're there for. So, if you want to do that with you rolled really well, that's cool. If you want, kind of like the same way I did with George. So if you wanted to kind of roll in your survival instinct, your violence stat is pretty good. If you want to, because right now I would say you're successfully, like, you've gotten out, you've hidden the weapon. But if you want to be, that one that's not being seen, you can take your second opportunity to roll your survival instinct.
right on. And the other thing, just while we're on the observe part, it will be like, what should he be on the lookout for? So his instinct is to be as armed as possible. So we've dealt with that, or we will deal with that. The second piece is kind of the expect the unexpected piece, like what he's thinking. I'm a dumb lunk. What am I not thinking of? Right? I need to be as good as I've ever been in this situation. What am I not thinking of? So what should I be on the lookout for would be the question.
I think it's not a question of what you should be looking for, but what you should be hiding from. And it all comes from, especially being around George, because you two have talked about things, and he's talked about seeing things, and you've kind of came to that respect in the first session. So yourself, what should I be looking for? But no, Ray, it's what you should be hiding from. And when you look into this park, even after George mentioned the lake, be careful, Elizabeth, you've kind of gotten extra, vigilant, and you yourself can, know how to hide. Like, you don't know how you've done it before, but it's just this memory thing again. It's like you've was it Mr. Pickett? Was it a situation back then? It's hard to remember. But when you go, you just know when you go in this park, you will be fine. It's the other three you have to worry about. Ray's good.
All right, so I'll make the survival instinct roll, and I just want to say to George really quick as well, just a quick word, to try and get some stability back. Hey George, listen, what you said to me earlier back at the restaurant really meant something to me. You're the first guy in a while to see something in me other than a guy who's good at busting heads. And I just wanted to say before this all goes down, I think you're all right too. For an egghead. All right, good talk.
Good talk. Good talk.
I'm gonna roll that survival.
All right.
That is a plus my violence. So that is a 13, 16.
Hey, good bump there.
Okay. So I'd say, yeah. So kind of how I went on my little rant. We'll say that whatever you find or whatever finds you, they won't know you're there because you know how to hide yourself and prepare for anything. And
Sweet.
yeah. So Ray is very well. You're all doing really well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to go back to that occult studies roll if I can.
Of course.
And given the fog, I'm just going to ask sort of the meta question of, I know something about this. What do I know about the weird fog, and why do I have a feeling it's going to date back to World War One?
Yeah, you think you might have even experienced something like this back when you were in the war. There was this one. You were down in the bunker. There was this one fight you were in. Your some of your platoon mates had been shot down, but you guys were doing just as much. But at a certain point, you'd advance a little bit, and you'd be taken back. You look back up, and there was this. It's like, no, that person should have been dead, but they had kind of got back up, and it was one of yours, and it started walking back toward where you were fighting, where you were shooting from, and for all you had seen at that time was, he should be dead, but he got back. Okay, the bullet must have missed something, but he came and he just started. He running after one of your buddies a little bit closer down, and started just physically attacking them. Like, the guy was kind of taken off, like, well, come on in, but he just started attacking him, and then it's like, did he turn on? Did something happen? But he was kind of brought down again, shot. Sure. Nothing else for it. And
Okay.
Yeah, you were later on when you've had time to think about it. You went to your books, and that kind of same energy, or kind of same, like everything just feels like that particular evening again. That kind of energy feel is just it's here.
I will, with that thought, as we're beginning to case the area, get right around the boathouse, like Ray disappearing into the shadows like some kind of a ninja.
Yeah, like you guys look for Ray, and he's just like, huh?
I will
gone.
pull out my gun and just have it at the ready. I'm not going to brandish it or anything. I just want to just have it out of the shoulder holster in my hand, sort of like looking out and thinking, okay, something is clearly not right here. And I'm concerned about this Starker guy. I think something's up with him. So I will keep my gun sort of at my side. And then just to make sure as we're getting ready that I don't have a coughing fit, I'm going to put a few drops of that tincture in my mouth, trying to suppress any coughing that may happen, because I want to be fully ready in case something goes down here. I don't want to be hacking up a lung mid shit hitting the fan.
Well, that sounds good, actually. Actually, roll your disadvantage then. I think that's.
You are a mean man.
Uh,
That is a 17 though, so haha, joke's on you.
you talked me into it.
nice.
Oh, I was getting worried. I'm watching that little meter fill up. I'm getting a little. We're early. We're only on session 2 here. This could end very poorly. That's a 17 in the disadvantage though. So
yeah, nothing.
There's nothing happens.
Yeah, those few little drops are beautiful in the throat.
Fantastic.
All right, Fred and Elizabeth, Elizabeth, Fred, you had been feeling the little box. Elizabeth, you had kind of George said something. You had gotten out of the car. What are you two doing?
Well, Elizabeth gets out of the car and she looks back at Fred and gives a wink as if, he knows what she's about to do. It's not the first time he's seen her do this. So she adjusts everything, gets everything nice and cleavage nice and there. And she pulls out, she has a cigarette case that she keeps. And she just keeps it in her hand along with a clutch. And she begins to walk in the direction of the open area and just kind of keep an eye out and just as sexy a walk as she could possibly make. She's going to do it. She's just swiveling the hips, whole 9 yards. And I imagine I'm going to have to roll a disadvantage here. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I first need to know: are you folks trying to get in before it closes, or
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's the
Before it
idea.
closes.
Yeah,
Yeah. Before it
yeah,
closes. Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry. I
Like
thought we
we'll
were.
get in.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll get in and then we'll kind of hide until they lock the gate and then come out. That's the idea.
all right, perfect. All right, so yeah, Elizabeth, you strutting your stuff. In the park, it is in the middle of it is a family neighborhood. As you kind of stroll in here, you see there's a few kids playing in the playground. There's a nice little colorful sandbox. There's a few. The sun is still up a little bit, and the lake is a little bit foggy.
What time of the day is it? Sorry.
It's about 6:30. Oh, well,
6:30 in the evening.
yeah.
Okay. So it's still sort of twilight then,
Yeah.
basically. Okay.
Yeah, you see that there's a couple boats out on the lake. Maybe one of those, not like those paddle boats that people kind of
Paddle
get
boats.
in. Yeah, you see them around. You see there's a few couples taking strolls on through. One person sitting on a bench reading a book and things like that. And you come in and you strut your stuff. Give me a disadvantage roll, please.
She probably was looking at all this. She's going, oh, is there a June cleaver here too? And that is, oh my, yeah, that's an 11.
11. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So there's a few people in here. There was one person that was cutting the grass on the side. You walk by.
Oh shit.
What do you do that gets his attention?
I'm sure it's a little waggle in the hips, and she just stops for a moment, looks over her shoulder, and kind of looks at him, smiles a little bit, gives him a slight of a wink, and then turns her shoulder and just keeps on slowly walking.
He stops what he's doing and he starts to follow you. Takes off his hat like this, takes it off, puts it on his chest.
Okay, and so noticing that he's following her, she immediately stops and pulls out a cigarette out of her cigarette case and turns around. She just turns around rather quickly and she says, "Oh, you have a light?"
Why, yes, ma'am, I do. He goes in his pocket. He hauls out a little lighter. Might I say you're a pretty girl. You're a pretty woman.
Oh, that's sweet of you to say. Thank you so much. What's your name?
Oh, why? Sorry. You just make me all nervous. Frank, nice to meet you.
Oh, Frank. What a nice name.
Thanks.
That's a manly name, I think. I've heard of that's just a very manly name. And so, Frank, have you seen anybody else walking around here? Just
I don't
somebody that
see.
maybe looks kind of out of place.
I'm looking at you, ma'am, right now.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you try to take a look around for me? She's going to try to influence other, and basically, see if she can get him to. If you've seen anybody that resembles someone by the name of Stalker, I guess. Well, this is probably let's see. That's a 13. 13. And that would be... So he does what I ask him to do, but you get to choose which one. Okay.
Okay. What do you ask him?
Oh, would you be a dear and see if you could find someone by the name of Stalker around here? I just needed to talk to him for just a moment, and then I want to have, I don't know, how about we have a drink?
Well, how about I don't do that now? We go for that drink now. And he takes his hand and he caresses your arm.
Oh boy. Okay. Oh yeah.
Is Fred seeing this?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Fred, what do you do?
Well, you mentioned earlier that the groundskeeper had a pair of shears. Given he's distracted, I'm going to grab him.
All right. They were dropped off in that. If you're watching the stream, or I posted in our private chat, it's a picture of the park. Toward the gate, I would say Elizabeth is walking down the main path. And the janitor shed there is just off to the left, or to the right if you're looking at the map. And yeah, you go up to there. He's distracted, but there's a lock on the door.
Oh, he locked it. Shoot. Oh, well, I'm actually a burglar.
Perfect.
That's one of my advantages. So yeah, I mean, this is probably the cheapest lock you can get. Government issued, or ordered. So can I make a burglary roll?
Of course you can. Roll 2d10 and add your coolness stat.
All right. That's decent. That's an 18.
Okay. You get your expertise in breaking in. You get to choose 3 options from your listed advantage below.
Yep. I'll open the lock. I'm assuming there's no alarm.
No, there's no alarm. No.
Yeah. So avoid being just good, so nobody sees me. I open the lock. I'll grab the shears, and I guess the third one is, can I lock it back up?
No, don't do that. You won't have a place to hide his dead body.
I'm not using the shears. You guys don't trust me. I'm not using the shears on him.
Ray just pops up from behind a tree.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just being...
No, but I wanted the shears, but I'm not going to... if I see that this guy is not leaving Liza alone, I'm going to... so I want the shears, but I'm going to toss them in the bush.
Sure.
And but I'll walk up, and I'm like, Liza, this bum bothering you?
And at this point, before Fred had got there, he by the time he had taken his hand and kind of caressed your arm, he forcefully has grabbed onto your wrist.
Oh, okay. In that case, then
creepiest gardener ever.
Yeah. So she's gonna drop her cigarette case. I said, oh, could you grab that for me, please?
No problem. But you promised me a drink.
Absolutely.
If I pick that up, we're going for a drink.
I bet you're a whiskey man, aren't you?
Yes.
I knew it. So please, could you pick that up for me? I appreciate it. Was my mother's.
All right, he goes to pick it up.
And she's gonna take the pistol out and club him over the back of the head. And basically knock his ass out.
So with your disadvantage, I get 1 hold. So he sees you going. He sees you going for your gun, and he takes his other hand. And he's like, "Hey, I don't think so."
Fred.
What's this guy?
All right, Fred's gonna Fred will appear and start walking towards him, and I'm like, "You back off, pal."
Fred, he turns around, and for a moment, his face is not human.
Oh.
Jagged teeth, pulsating pus coming out of various places on his forehead, and just that guttural description from earlier.
Oh well, Right. So Fred's probably hadn't seen anything like that before.
Nope.
But it just lasts for a second.
Yeah, but it does cause a keep it together, please.
All right. Willpower. 12.
Okay, that is what do you pick from this list of things? Or what do you think would be Fred's reaction?
I think that you know what, that it probably takes him aback. So he was coming in there kind of like ready to take control of the situation. I'm not, you know what, as odd as it sounds, I'm going to pick the scared. Like all of a sudden, it's not scared necessarily of this guy. It's Fred's now wondering whether he's losing his mind.
Yeah.
Like, has he lost it? But so he actually falters. He's in mid sentence. He's kind of trails off and he falters for a bit, and his uncertainty goes over his face.
Okay, and with that, this thing that's in front of you, and whatever it is that makes you doubt yourself for this moment, he takes his head and he gives you a headbutt so hard.
Holy frig!
Roll and an injury, please.
Okay.
That is
Indoor injury. Okay.
Yeah, that is a plus fortitude minus, we'd say, 2.
Fortitude.
Ray is seeing all this, right?
Just
Like-
seeing this now, yeah.
Okay, because hopefully, like he was in an ambush position and he was trying to keep eyes on. Okay, good. I'm cool.
I would say
Have
George also
he-
had his gun out, so if
Yeah.
he sees this,
Yep.
13.
13? Okay. We'll say the headbutt throws you off balance and you
Right.
skip back a couple steps and you kind of fall on the ground. When he falls on the ground, you look down on him. He looks like just that, he's in the groundskeeper garb. And you don't know what you saw, but it does stay with you. You just can't shake it.
Right.
Liza, what's your reaction to this?
Well, so to clarify, she went to basically kind of club him over the head, and he just swatted her hand away. Correct?
Yeah, and the gun went flying into the bushes.
The gun went flying into the bushes. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
You're starting to see there's a few people around, just like, there's a couple with some mother with a child. Just they are seeing this, and they
I'm gonna add
picks up a child, walks away.
Sorry,
Okay.
this might affect what she does, but Fred will say, you'll hear Fred say, as he's kind of on the ground back away, like, "What the hell are you?"
So she immediately jumps back she after the gun gets knocked out of her hand, she's, "Oh my God, please leave me alone. Help.
George and Ray, what do you do? This guy
Ray's going to use former boxer advantage, bull rush him. Because but hide his shotgun in the bushes and just go hand to hand, because he doesn't know he's a monster, correct? He just thinks he's a creepy pervy groundskeeper.
Yeah, but
Save the shotgun for later and bull rush him with boxer.
Yeah, Liza, when she's saying all this business with the help, she's trying to get all the people that are already there to take notice of this guy who's obviously sort of coming on to her in a way that shouldn't be happening. So in order to kind of, but yeah.
Yep.
So now you coming in with the fisticuffs is probably a great idea. So yeah.
But as Ray's kind of walking in, getting ready, George, you look at this thing. It's one of them. Back from the war. It's one of them.
well, time to engage in good old-fashioned violence.
Ray doesn't stand. One thing you remember is that Ray won't stand a chance by himself.
Well, I will. So first off, I should ask: is this a keep it together roll first?
Yes.
I had a feeling it would be. That's why I wanted to check. That's a 14 plus 2, 16.
Cool. Your previous rolls are playing your character well.
Yeah.
How does this come out in George's being?
Well, a 16 is that I can do what I intended, which is going to be, I see this creature and know that if Ray's going toe to toe with this thing, Ray's fucked. So
I
I'm
left my
going
gun behind too. Hey,
I'm going to pull
awesome.
out my gun and shout to Ray, "Get the hell out of there!" and just start unloading as much as I can until the gun goes click. If mechanically that's allowed, I gotta do one shot around or something.
Oh
But
my god!
I'm going to just empty a clip into this
This
creature.
whole plan just went tits up. Okay, all right. So
Good.
You don't know what happened in the war. You can't just turn it off.
okay.
You don't know, man. You weren't there.
Why does it sound like Goofy's like, oh, you don't remember the horrors of war?
Okay, all right.
I was-
So,
Just doing my Vietnam voice.
Nice.
all right. So the way this
Oh,
is
no,
working
man.
out, which gun do you have, George?
George has the Webley revolver.
Webley revolver. I will send that to you, private
Okay.
chat, so you have it.
I want to say it's 2 damage per hit, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Yeah. So when it comes to reading these stats, they usually give just a bunch of different options in each one, and they have limited amount of ammo. Just make it real, make it more menacing, and yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Fred, you don't know what this thing is. You're kind of frozen in place. Liza, you're like, help, kind of looking all around.
She's feigning this. Obviously, Fred would probably already notice this because she's trying to get this guy to change his mind, but I don't think she saw the whole transformation, or did she?
No, she didn't. But
Yeah,
but just kind of like what happened back for you, back in that memory of Mr. Pickett. You're trying to get help. You're like, you're doing your thing. You're making the motions. You're doing it. But when you look at reality around you, it almost like it's in that episode of The Matrix where the black cat walks by. Everything just kind of
deja vu.
not deja vu. Like it just like zzz.
Oh, okay. So it's
like
like
people
a flicker in the screen.
Yeah, like people
Okay.
look like they're starting to freak out, but everything everything glitches, and
Right.
out the woman's walking her child in the stroller. Everyone's having a fun time, but no one cares. No one's even looking in your direction. But stuff is still the stuff that you folks are involved in is real, and it is happening. And
Ray's still bum rushing this guy.
Yeah.
And he's thinking, what the hell's George talking about? I think I can take a scrawny gardener. Jesus.
Here we go.
Yeah. So Ray, you were up closer than kind of George was, but you're getting up close to this thing. You heard George kind of blare out. And George, you took your gun out. You just started firing. Who did you start?
I just started squeezing that trigger as much as I could.
All right. Give me a. Now, when it comes to firing your gun off in KULT, most people usually think it falls under engage in combat, but that's mostly for fisticuffs. This one is act under pressure. So you're rattling your gun off. Roll 2d10 plus your coolness stat, please, as you're trying to steady your aim and not hit Ray.
Oh, perfect. A 16 still.
You guys are rolling
Nice.
so good. Nice.
My violence and coolness. I was worried because I have a 15 on the dice. My violence is +1. I'm like, okay, what's my coolness? Still +1. So
Perfect.
Mhm.
All right. So you fire your gun off. Which one did you use? Which quality of it?
I would go for overkill, knowing that this thing is not. It's not human. It is clearly something from the war has followed me back with its the tongue and the. I'm going for the overkill. I will expend 2 ammunition.
Yeah, so you do that, and Ray, it kind of takes you off there a little bit, like, but the bullets are just flying by your head, and they just go, whoosh, whoosh, and you see them embedded in this thing on the ground, and it, ooh, nice 3. All right, so it does get hurt, and it does, it's just this, like, again, guttural kind of like just scream as it howls in anger, and wherever the bullets hit, you would expect blood to come flying out, but it's this kind of yellow, pussy, stinky shit, and it covers the front of your nice suit, Ray, and it's almost like it starts to burn through your clothing as you kind of stand there and look down at this thing. But when you're looking down, it's human. Like, blood should be firing out, not this yellow, pussy shit, and it smells like just bad mustard, mothball disgustingness, and it's burning the front of your nice tailored suit. What do you do?
Well, he was trying to go stealth with the fisticuffs and not call attention, but he's pissed off. And besides, guns have been fired now, so it's like, and if this guy has pus and stuff coming out of him, he's not going to touch him with his fists. So he's standing over him, and he's kind of got this sneer on his face. He's like, "That was a good suit. My mom bought me this suit." Pulls out his gun and just starts blasting too.
All right, roll a act under pressure and add your coolness stat.
Nice. Act under pressure.
Things are going really well.
Oh, not 9 and 7, 16. What is my coolness stat? Let's see. Coolness is +1, 17.
All right, and what are you? Was it a shotgun? Your shotgun you were using, or was it just?
No, I said I left behind the shotgun hidden in the bushes under my coat. I always carry my pistol, so yeah.
Okay, yeah. No, you go in and you unload or just take one shot to the head.
I think he'd be more a headshot. He doesn't see what George sees. He's not as freaked out by this thing. He's gonna do a little tap in between the eyes.
Okay. You go up, right between the eyes, fire in, and that's yellow pus spatter just goes on your face and on your skin. And any normal person would die because of this. Like, you definitely wounded this thing, but where its skin is, and where the bullet kind of went in, you just kind of see it ripping in, like his it's almost like his cranium is just growing, and you see the skin just kind of rip apart, and the eyes just kind of, there's this layer of the eyeballs that just kind of rips, and you now see what this thing is, and the description of just this disgustingness extends to this. Whatever George has seen, whatever the others have seen, you now see it. Roll to keep it together, please.
Awesome. Keep together is willpower. Okay.
Somebody fail a roll. Just kidding.
That's a straight.
Somebody fail a roll.
Somebody fail a roll. Oh, thanks.
That was funny.
Well, not this time. I got an 18 that time.
Oh my! All right.
I'm keeping these dice.
All right, so this thing was after Elizabeth Ray. You're gritting your teeth. You're pushing through. What's Ray doing?
He's gonna just look down at him and just kind of grit between his teeth. It's like, we're here for Stalker, freak, not you. Tell us what we want to know.
Okay. Red, what are you doing?
I mean, this is surreal. Like, 1 minute, Fred is thinking about shears. The next minute, there's some creature guns are going off. The only thing that kicks in would be he's got to get Liza out of the danger zone. So
The
on
mother,
the ground.
the mother with child walks by and gives you a quaint little wave and smile.
What the? That makes no sense. There's guns fire going off. maybe this is a dream. Maybe he has lost his mind, but he's still going to act on his instinct is to get with gunshots and stuff going off and this creature. He's going to dive and kind of get Liza out of the way.
First roll, keep it together, please. Because, like you said, this doesn't make any sense. What the hell's going on?
Not too bad. Not great. 12.
12. Okay. What do you think happens? What do you take? Once again, you're rolling in that nice zone of always player's choice. You become more scared. You become more like, yeah.
Yeah, his main thing is to get Liza out of there. Get her out, get save her life. He can't have her dying. So so I guess he'd be afraid for her.
Okay.
For her getting injured. So he'll just kind of dive forward, and kind of like pulls Liza out of the way.
Okay.
It just kind of keeps going. We're not like he wants to get her clear of this encounter.
Yep, sounds good. All right, so that takes Mark one more stability down, so you go from uneasy to unfocused.
Ooh, unfocused.
So it makes sense. I find these always make sense. Just kind of the way your character has been and just kind of where you are. And you just, you go past the woman, just, have a good day, sir. And please tell me what you do again, because I got a brain of a squirrel.
Nice.
Oh, no, me? Oh, I'm just getting Liza out of the way.
All right. You make it over to Liza. She's there. What's Liza doing? As Fred runs over and tries to save you.
Yeah, well, she just had her gun knocked out of her hand. She basically was trying to feign, hey, get attention, and hopefully get this guy to, go, they just want everybody to see this going on. But apparently nobody gives a shit. So they're like, oh, this is wonderful. Please continue. What did she do? Yeah, I think she's just gonna try to get away from this whole fisticuff situation, and wherever the gun went, she's gonna try and go for that. Wherever it went flying to.
Since you said you're not really engaged in anything physical, sometimes
still act under pressure or something like that.
No, actually, just roll your perception stat, please. As you said, you're looking around for your gun, and you see if you're trying to see anything.
That's 15, I think. Hold on, it's gonna. Oh nope, that's it's 13. I got a -2 to perception.
That's okay. So, you go for your gun, but out of your periphery, you see someone. You didn't think any like it was you. Your gaze is drawn back down toward the pier.
To the pier. Okay.
The walkout pier. And you see this fellow standing there in a black hat. He's just in the fog. Really black, long trench coat. Can't see his face. He's looking down at the bridge pier. And with his head still kind of looking down toward, he puts his hand up and he just kind of does this. He motions you to come down.
Okay. So in relationship to Fred, are they in the middle of a tussle or no?
No.
Okay.
You're let loose. Fred's coming toward you, and you have these few moments where your thoughts go to your gun.
Well, that case, I'm going to grab a hold of Fred's arm just as I see this, and point directly at the guy in the black trench coat. Are you seeing what I'm seeing, Fred?
I'm like moving. So Fred isn't stopping. Like he's kind of, as you're saying that, he's kind of moving you out of the way, but he does glance in the direction. Does he see this?
Yes.
Shadowy figure. What the hell?
Do you think You think
Yeah,
that's
I don't think Fred's going. He's going to be moving in whatever. I don't think Fred's going to like all of a sudden go to this creepy guy with the gesture.
yeah, I don't think she would either. So no.
So
Well,
getting Liza clear, and then getting her clear and safe, and then he'll turn back, I guess, next round to see what's going on with the fight.
yeah. Well, in those moments, your mind, Fred, kind of goes. You were supposed to meet Stalker here down at the pier. That in your mind goes, is that him?
Or I'll tell you where my mind went was when Stalker wrote in the letter that he's being watched. I'm going, are these the Watchers?
Cool.
Yeah, that's kind of where my mind would. That's probably
that's-
the first thing that Fred would think of.
Perfect. Well, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, because this doesn't look like an artist to me.
Cool.
Although
All right.
the name Stalker fits the image.
Yeah, I'm not saying it. I think it's not Stalker. I think it's Starker.
Starker.
Oh,
Starker.
Starker.
Starker,
Still though, it sounds like a vampire name.
All right. So yeah, no.
Wasn't he famous? Like from the last session, this is just my dim now I'm meta talking, but my
He
dim
is, yeah.
recollection from the last session was that he's kind of a famous guy, so we've probably seen his picture in like Life magazine or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So would he look if we saw him, if it was him, we would maybe recognize him probably.
Oh,
Yeah.
see, I didn't know he wouldn't know what he looked like. Okay.
I think that was a gimme from last game. I mean,
yeah, we
you'll
did
correct
talk
me if
about
I'm
that.
wrong, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Forgive the meta discussion, but I'm just trying to.
No,
Oh, that's
it's
okay.
important though.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we would know him when we see him.
Well, then in that case, she would grab Fred's arm as he's scurrying her away and point. They'd go, Stalker. It's Stalker.
Oh, it is Stalker, Ryan?
What had you rolled previous there,
Correct.
Elizabeth, on your perception? What did you roll again on that? I think
Oh,
it
it
was
was 13, I believe.
Yeah, so you can make out. You think it might be him, but he's shrouded in fog. So it might be, but you can't tell.
Then she wouldn't say, do you see this guy? So
I don't know.
she doesn't recognize him. So
We just need to get clear. So I'm just going to get her out of the fight. And then once time permits, he'll turn back to assist George and Ray. But
Okay.
his main priority is to getting Liza out of the fight.
Okay. You do that, no problem. And Ray, you put a bullet between this thing's eyes.
Uh-huh.
It should be dead, but it's not. And you see it get up, and its nail claws just extend into like this kind of half organic, half metallic sheen claws, and this thing moves so fast, and it jumps toward you. Roll and avoid harm, please.
Yeah.
That is a reflex. 2d10 plus your reflexes roll, please.
Cool. Okay, 8, 6, 14 plus reflexes.
And you have just because it's moving
Plus 1.
just because it's moving so fast, you have a -1 on the roll.
Okay, so that counteracts my plus 1 reflexes, so it's 14. Which is 1 shy of what I need.
All right,
still
so
not bad.
yep. So
That's too bad.
basically, you avoid the worst of it, and these serrated, organic metal claw things, whatever wasn't burned, whatever that yellow pus stuff hadn't burned away the rest of your suit, the front of it is just torn, and your chest, there's this gaping just wound as your blood just pours out and just covers the front of you. And you're going to take a serious wound from this as you get some deep lacerations through your chest.
Jeez.
And yeah, so for Cult of Divinity Lost, there's not really hit points per se, There's a serious wound category, which is it's just a flesh wound, and then there's a critical wound where it's something not so nice. So, yeah, based on that, you take, yeah, you'll just get a serious wound from that. So that is you'll have -1 on all rolls until you're like patched up or just away from this situation. So,
Okay.
yeah. So, sorry, George, you see this thing just lurch at Ray.
Yeah.
It just moves so fast, and you just see Ray just kind of take 2 steps back, turn around, look at you, and stumble around, and just blood is just pouring out of his chest, looking all dazed and confused.
Does this thing look harmed at all? Like,
That was
does
my
it
question.
Even,
Does it look like it's
even
hurt?
seem
yeah.
like it's?
Oh yeah, it should be dead.
Yeah.
Well, I got 2 more bullets left, and I think it's got this thing's name on them.
All right, roll away.
It is a 15 plus the coolness, which is 1, so 16.
Wow, George, you're bringing back all your previous training, and just you might have just taken like 1 or 2 steps, and you've gotten up to Ray, gotten up to this thing, and what do? It's all you.
I am going to, given like if it does it see me approaching, because that's going to influence how I do this.
Oh yes.
All right, then I'm going to, as soon as I can get close enough, put the gun directly under what its chin would be, and just squeeze the trigger twice.
You pop its brains out,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it just splatters everywhere, and the thing finally dies. And as
Also,
oh, go
that
ahead.
was for the overkill version of the gun, so I'm expending those last 2 ammo. So just if anybody ever needs George to have a gun again,
Yeah.
He needs some
George
help.
is firing blanks right now.
We have bullets.
But yeah, George is
car.
gonna just boom right under the chin,
Yeah,
and
and
then I will immediately check on Ray.
Yeah. Ray is looking at George. He's gone giddy, I think. He's just like all his blood and everything, and he shot a thing right between the eyes, and then it jumped up and cut him open. He's like just kind of gone, just has the nervous giddy laughter. He's gone pale as a ghost, full body sweat, like cold clammy sweat, and he's just fallen down on his knees, and he's like, nice shooting, Tex. And then just kind of like rolls over onto his back, and he's just like staring up at the sky, semi catatonic.
And for Ray, I'll just say, in this catatonic state, everything is okay, Ray. So I will ask you
just-
to.
He
Yeah.
takes out it, and he's just dumping what's left of his flask, whatever Liza left to him, which probably wasn't very much.
Yeah.
Mm.
And in this case, everything is okay, Ray. Roll your disadvantage, please. And
Ooh.
you have
yeah.
a -2 on the roll, 1 from serious wounds and 1 from being focused. Run easy.
What the disadvantage? Yeah,
the
okay.
disadvantage.
Yeah. D. -2. What was the second minus from?
1 from being seriously wounded, and
Yeah.
1 from just being just due to the stability chart being unfocused.
Actually, I thought I went 1 up. I was composed because I told George that I used
yeah.
my
Yeah, that's right too. Okay, so -1.
dramatic hook. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I rolled terrible. I got a 5.
Ooh,
Okay,
ouch, kibibbles.
George, you know that you did this thing and you might have walked away there a little bit and just made sure Ray was okay. You kind of gone over
I
Ray.
tried to get him standing.
Yeah, Ray. You said you're kind of laying back, just laying down on the ground, maybe just taking a swig. But this thing shot to death beside you, and its body shakes once. It shakes twice, and its arm goes over you, Ray. Just in one like kind of last body convulsion before it actually hits death and it puts its arm around you, drags itself toward you with its head blown open, and it just takes its tongue, and it looks like it licks your blood, or it looks like it's tasted you, and it smiles, and then it finally just
double ooh.
Yeah, I'd say hey.
and
Ugh.
in the back of your mind, you hear the scream of your mother, and a gunshot ring out in the back of your mind, and that's where we will end this evening.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh.
Well, Liz's charms and all of her major tools were completely ixnayed for this whole thing. I'm like, well, all right.
Oh, my heart.
Oh my God. So very cool. Very cool.
That was really good.
That was awesome.
I'm thoroughly creeped out, and just in time for bed.
You
Yeah,
are
I was gonna say, I got work tomorrow morning. It's gonna be fun trying to sleep.
Wait, did Frank die, Mario? This hideout? You'll have to find out next. You'll have to find out next time. And
Tune in next week.
tune in
Next
time.
session, rather.
Yeah.
Next time. There you go.
All right, and yeah, so I'd like to thank all the players here for joining me on the Illusion HorrorCon stream show. I haven't found a name for it yet, but we'll just call it that. And stay tuned. Stay tuned to the Facebooks and the Discords and everything else for the next session. This one will continue in a little bit, but the next session up will be Phzoul will be back in the driver's seat. I think it's on September 29th for part 2 with 13 Pines. Stay tuned for that, and that part 1 will be uploaded to YouTube soon. So besides that, we'll see you next time, and thank you, my wonderful players, for this was an awesome session.
And thank you,
Ryan.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ryan.
thank you, and you,
This
and
is
you,
so good.
all of you.
All
Really
right,
good.
bye
This is
everybody.
fantastic.
Bye.